Okay, so today I'm eating a morning bun from King Arthur Flour and a London Fog with 2% and British breakfast. I'm reading Bodily Love and Irrationality in Donne's In the Sun Rising and the Ecstasy. So, two poems by John Donne. I wrote this in a survey course last term. Basically, I was just thinking about relationships, romantic relationships with people, and how they're so short oftentimes. Like, just as soon as it begins, it ends. And just because of hookup culture and Tinder and all that stuff, that happens very often these days. So I wanted to write about something that captured that. So here we go. There's already sugar on my hands because I touched the morning bun. I don't have napkins. John Donne's The Sun Rising and the Ecstasy are like aubades, set in a bedroom and bedroom-like bank sectioned off from the world of responsibility. They glorify the irrationality of intimacy while also lamenting its impermanence. The two poems utilize the time-space of the bedroom at dawn as a temporary inversion of real and not real. Boundaries get broken, insides become outsides, time seems to stop, and singular becomes plural. Two conceits explore the possibility of irrational love. In The Sun Rising, the bedroom is the entire world, and in the ecstasy, the bank upon which the lovers lie is the bedroom. The bedroom metaphors allow for a reformulation of the body, where the lovers' bodies in The Sun Rising becomes political entities, and those in the ecstasy intermix with one another. Passion leads to an irrational, ignorant bliss, foregoing thought for feeling. Redefining the body makes this irrational intimacy seem rational, but also draws attention to its impossibility because of the presence of other people in the world. That's the first paragraph. It's like the body. Intimacy is irrational, but becomes rational through the body, basically. Donne first establishes responsibility and love as contrary to one another in the first stanza of The Sun Rising. The narrator asks the sun, "Why dost thou thus, through windows and through curtains, call on us?" The narrator characterizes the sun as invasive, describing how it passed through windows and curtains. By breaching these two indications of privacy, the sun interrupts the intimacy of the two lovers. The narrator follows this question by posing alternate groups of people that the sun should bother, such as, quote, late school boys and sour prentices, unquote, as well as court huntsmen and country ants. All of these parties have responsibilities: academics, professions, harvesting, and hunting. I don't like that sentence formation. Focusing on the obligations of these groups suggests that the two lovers have no obligations in the outside world. But realistically, it is more likely that the lovers are choosing to ignore their responsibilities. Been there, done that, right? Just I'm gonna lie in bed all day and not think about the outside world because there's not shit to do, you know? That's why John Donne is so relatable. The narrator opens up the question of rationality by insisting that love is timeless. He claims, "Love all alike, no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time." Ironically, this is immediately after the first lines of the stanza express disdain towards the sun for interfering with him and his lover's slumber and forcing them to wake up. The narrator also emphasizes the power of the sun as time when he describes the beams as, quote, reverend and strong, end quote, at the beginning of the next stanza. At first, the sun implies ephemerality, breaking off the narrator and his lover's time together. The literal meaning of the last line, however, suggests otherwise, that love actually can resist time. Ooh, my professor made a comment there. But because the sun has already cut love short, the final claim reads like a denial of reality. when you're with someone, you just like want time to stop, you know? The rags of time, it's like such an evocative way of saying it. To continue his denial, this is the next paragraph. To continue his denial, the narrator creates a world in which love can resist reality. In this world, love is the only reality. He says, quote, "She's all states and all princes, I," end quote, comparing the narrator's relationship with a woman to the governance of a prince over a political region. In this conceit, Donne assigns love the value of governance and politics. Here, the narrator reveals how he thinks of love. It is a power-dependent relationship where he controls his lover, but the importance of their relationship is at the level of land distribution, a highly important political issue given the colonial pursuits of England during the time of the metaphysical poets. Ooh, that like contextual little bit there, that was like so nicely like put in there. But I really don't like the phrase highly important. Oh well. The conceit also draws attention to bodies, since land masses are also physical entities. Because the states and princes refer to the bodies of the narrator and his lover, the power dynamics also suggest the presence of physical dominance. The comparison stresses not only passion itself, but that the passion is of the body. The plurality of the conceit also bears significance. The woman is not one but all states, as he is not one but all princes. Pluralization isolates the lovers, omitting all states and princes in this fantasy world. The narrator erases more abstract aspects of the real world by comparing honor to mimic and wealth to alchemy, discrediting two valorized ideals to imitation and magic. So basically, like, he's making politics seem like magic and like not important and shit, you know? By making their bodies the only reality, the narrator creates a dichotomy between what is real and what is fantasy, and inverts the two. I wrote in verses. My professor corrected me to inverts. Oops, lol. I'm really careless sometimes. To exaggerate the desperation to which he clings in order to hold on to the idea of ephemeral physical love as real, it becomes necessary to compare rational real-world values to magic, which undertakes a negative connotation in the still secular world. Ooh, I like that sentence. The narrator dramatically and narcissistically asserts him and his love as the center of the world. We all want to think our love is the center of the universe. I didn't write that in paper. He says, quote, "Since thy duties be to warm the world that's done to warming us, this bed thy center is, these walls thy sphere," end quote. The image of the sun retains a visually spiritual connotation, but the bed contrarily poses an image of sensuality and secularism. So there's like the spiritual sun and like the secular bed, so like this dichotomy of shit. The inside becomes outside and the outside inside. Oh, sorry. I'm like really proud of my sentences sometimes. The lover's becoming the center of the world rather than a single part of it. The reformulation ignores reconstitutes. Oh, I messed up there. The reformulation reconstitutes the world as belonging only to two people and creating a sense of bliss that resolves real tensions between contradictory spirituality and corporeal love. The ecstasy, so now we're on to the new poem, is not an aubade in the proper sense. An aubade is like a poem for when you wake up in the morning and you're leaving your lover, but compares the floral outside setting to a bedroom at the beginning of the poem, so that the underlying image of this interior space remains throughout. The narrator compares the pregnant bank upon which the two lovers lay to a pillow on the bed. The comparison gives nature the intimate qualities of an inside space, but with the sensuousness of the floral setting. Comparing the bank to a pillow makes the outside setting seem as if it belongs only to the two lovers, like a room. Conversely, the mundaneness of a bedroom gets the value of a poetic garden-like space. The intimacy of the two lovers becomes associated with fertility, growth, and sensuality. The sense of the organic present in the garden allows the seemingly unnatural body mutations seem natural.